Alright, so today I figured I would make a different type of video and tell you about all the different video game related news that's kind of been interesting over the last week or so. First one being that the people behind the Homefront game, it was reported by Eurogamer, people behind Homefront have stated that the game sort of has a 5-hour campaign, and they're saying that they've seen some people who can breeze through it, all the expert players breeze through it, and it takes them 5 hours, and said that less expert players can take 10, 11 hours. And I'm thinking, the problem is, a lot of people who play these kind of games are usually going to be the expert people that they're talking about. And if there's even a chance that they might only have 4 hours into it, or 5 hours into a campaign, they're probably not going to get it because they don't want the multiplayer to hold everything up. Kane and Lynch, they hoped that their multiplayer would hold everything up. That didn't happen. That game pretty much bombed. It had a 4-hour campaign, and the campaign was just shit. Okay, nobody had anything good to say about the campaign of that game. So, yeah, more than likely that game's going to kind of do pretty bad because of that one little fact. Alright, next thing is, that I found kind of interesting, was the Japanese Torchlight game. It was reported by Famitsu and through Joystick. And it basically says that the Japanese localized version of Torchlight for the Xbox Live Arcade has been cancelled. The only thing about that is, it never existed to begin with. They claim, Microsoft Japan claims that it was due to a bug in the game's text. But the thing is, why would you even bother to say that instead of just saying, yeah, we didn't plan on making it in the first place? Just tell them that. You know, don't go through giving out an excuse for what you're doing. Just go ahead and tell them you didn't want to make the game. Okay, I don't know anything about Torchlight, really. All I know is that Japan apparently does not want it, and that's partly a good thing. Makes sense why they wouldn't do it, because the Xbox Live or Xbox 360 is pretty much a dead console in Japan. Xbox was the same way. 360 just does not work in Japan, or they just don't want it. Alright. Next story is about Volition and their Saints Row 3, or Saints Row the 3rd. They said that some of their ideas are just too extreme to put in a video game. And one of those ideas seems, for some reason, it is called the fart in a jar grenade. Where apparently, well, like it says, you fart in a jar, throw it, and the flatulence is so horrible that no one will be able to combat you because they'll be so busy vomiting. And it's probably a good thing that they threw that out, because Saints Row is known for its over-the-top humor. That's a little bit too over-the-top for a Duke Nukem game. And that's something. Now, they do have a couple interesting things, such as, they said airstrikes on Mexican gangs, skydiving with tanks, and you fight off military with a sex toy. Yeah. I really want to see how that's going to work out, because Saints Row the 3rd, I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it to come out. Only downside is it comes out last time I checked, January 1st of 2012. That's a long time away, so it's just, you know, the anxiety is growing and growing and growing. And it's probably a good thing that they decided to release this game, or that, well, Rockstar decided to release their game, their new game, LA Noire, a couple months before Saints Row 3, Saints Row 3, because I have a feeling Saints Row 3 is going to do better, even though they're two different styles of games. It just seems like, because Saints Row 2 outsold, I believe it was 2, outsold GTA 2-1. So that right there tells you something. Okay, the next bit of news is about Gabe Newell. I believe that's how you say his name. Newell? I don't know on that one. He gave away his personal Steam password, and dared people to log into his account. He gave away his login email and his password. And this was basically his way of showing off the Steam Guard feature that ties your Steam. Let's see. It allows Steam users to tie their accounts to a single PC, preventing account theft even with the knowledge of login information. And Steam Guard also notifies users if someone tries to log into their account from a foreign computer. Okay, the thing about this is, does it, like, I know that most of your Steam stuff is going to be obviously stuck to your one computer, but I have seen some people who will actually use their Steam on other people's computers. I've seen people that share Steam. They share the same Steam emails and everything. They just both use the same thing. How is this going to affect that? That's going to, from the way it looks, it's going to pretty much ruin that for people who share Steam passwords. And I've used Steam before. I just don't like it. I don't like PC games in general. I play a couple games on PC, but my PC's crap. It can't run things. So to me, it's interesting that he was actually, confident in his stuff enough that he would put this out there. But, tying it to one computer just seems kind of out there. And I believe the last bit that I have is that the Microsoft Kinect, that everyone believed was going to fail, is the fastest selling consumer electronics device in history. See, Microsoft predicted that Kinect would be the biggest hardware launch ever. It says it has 10 million units sold, and it was selling an average of 133,000 plus every day. See, I bought the Kinect. I have one. And I figured that, right off the bat, there wasn't going to be much out for it. Except, Dance Central was the one big game that if you owned a Kinect, you pretty much had to buy Dance Central. And then those Kinect adventures that pretty much came with it, so you were kind of stuck with that. But there's some games that I do believe are going to come out that are going to be pretty good for it. Partly Child of Eden. I don't know too much about that game, but it does seem like it would be pretty good. There's a horror game coming out. I can't remember what it was called either. But there's that one. There's one called Gunstringer that's done by, what was it? The people who did Brutal Legend, I believe. No, not Brutal Legend. It was done by the people who did Explosion Man and Comic Jumper. So I automatically assume that's going to be a good game. But for some reason, they seem to also have Kung Fu Panda 2 coming out for this thing. And I don't know if that would really be that good, but hopefully something good will come out of it. I don't want it to be a failed thing that I paid $150 for, and then it pretty much led to nothing. Okay, basically I believe that's pretty much everything that I thought was pretty interesting for this week. If I find any more, I'll do another video on those. But right now, this is everything I thought that was interesting, and I will see you later.